welcome to Bogota.
Today is a day full of tours for us. We went on the free walking tour.
Which if you haven't seen it yet, is gonna be right here.
And now we're going on a free food tour.
Which is great because we are very hungry.
It's free in that our guide is just tip based and we pay for our food wherever we go. But we're gonna get to experience a full day of Colombian food.
Which we're super excited because we don't know anything about Colombian food. We've had Costa Rican food for the last few weeks.
And it's all only gonna cost us about $8 US per person.
So we're stoked.
Not so bad.
Not bad for a full day of eating.
So excited for this.
Here in Colombia, they're gonna say we invented empanadas. If you go to, I don't know, Chile, they're gonna say the same. But the truth is that empanadas, the original empanada, is coming from the Middle East.
Oh!
That was the way that they used to keep the beef fresh for longer.
There are so many sauces to try. I don't know where to start. Very different than Costa Rican empanadas. Costa Rican ones we had much thicker breading. This is thinner, more flavorful, and more moist. It's really good. This is supposedly the hottest sauce.
Hot?
It's hot. It's hot. But really good flavor. I think we've all picked out a favorite. Con picado que pica. It kind of tastes like a pickled relish or something with some dill in it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Not flavors you would expect in Colombia.
Yeah, I was a fan of the pineapple one. I like fruitier salsas. I just think they're interesting, like a mango salsa. Ruth, I think, was a little turned off by that.
It's like putting snow cone syrup on my empanada.
See, I love the salty and the sweet mix, so I think they blended really well. But I agreed that the pickle was the best. Very good. On to the next place.
We weren't sure if we'd get to stop at this place because they're not always here, but this guy has been selling corn in this spot for many, many years. They basically just take some corn, cover it in butter, put it on a little charcoal grill. The kernels on these corn are like the biggest I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know if it's like a local variety, but excited to try it. We ended up getting the 4,000 pesos size, which is about $1 US. Whoa. The texture was not what I was expecting. It's very chewy. I feel like it's more akin to eating popcorn than eating corn on the cob in flavor and texture. It's not very sweet. It's more salty and chewy and like almost like bready.
Oh. It's a little tougher. When we do corn in America, we steam it or boil it, and so it's got a lot of moisture in it. This has very little moisture.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's salty. I like the char on it. I can see why this would be a good hearty thing to eat on the go. This is so big. We were told that the Spanish colonial style of architecture is to make it look small on the outside and it's huge on the inside. This is very big.
Okay, so we're trying a traditional soup called Ajiaco. It comes with chicken, corn, potatoes, and then a bunch of toppings too. You put rice on top of it, avocado, some kind of heavy cream, and capers as well. So you load it up. It's a very hearty meal. Wow, yeah. It tastes rustic. It tastes ancient. It's really good. That was super delicious. I thought we were gonna take it slow, but we ended up eating every last morsel of it. This was just lunch part 1. Next up, lunch part 2.
This is the Limonada de Coco. Limonada de Coco. Oh my. Oh, that's delicious. It's coconutty. It tastes like coconut milk with a lemonade kick.
Yeah, it looks really frothy. Time for some unique food.
What are you about to eat, Mikey?
Some capybara. Capybara? If you haven't seen the animal before, they kind of look like big beavers without tails. Have you been there for 2 months?
It's sadly really tasty. It's actually very delicious. It's kind of gamey, kind of salty, but tastes a lot like pork chop, like a thin sliced pork chop.
Arepa con queso. It tastes like cornbread. It's very sweet. The cheese is not gooey or anything like I thought it would be. You can barely tell the difference between the bread and the cheese. But yeah, it tastes just like cornbread. It's good.
Cheers!
Walked out to a food stand on the street and we're having Obleas Casaritas. It's kind of like 2 really thin, crispy waffles. And you can put all kinds of toppings on it. They have caramel, they have cream, coconut, chocolate chips, cheese, of course, because they eat a lot of cheese here, so you can get cheese on this too. But we went for the caramel and the blackberry jam. Looks really good. It's very sweet.
Caramel and jam, yeah.
I'm not a big sweets person, so maybe I'm not the best judge of this. But if you came, maybe getting some of the cheese topping would cut the sweetness a little bit, or some coconut maybe. The crispiness is really nice though. Gives it a good texture profile. Now that we've had dessert, it's time for the meal between lunch and dinner. So here we are.
You grow up here in Bogota and different parts of the country eating hot chocolate with cheese. So if I go tomorrow to visit my aunt, for example, and she offers me hot chocolate, I'm going to expect that the hot chocolate is going to be with cheese. You don't even think about it. You get the cheese and you start taking little chunks with your hands and put it inside of the hot chocolate.
He said the cheese is mild, kind of similar to a mozzarella, and then you're supposed to break it into small pieces and drop it in. Wow, that splashed a lot more than I thought it was going to.
1 minute later.
I found my chunk. Yeah, it's super oozy. Looks like it's melted. Don't want to burn myself. It's not bad. It just doesn't seem like you're supposed to put those 2 things together.
It feels just like the cheese fell in there and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just gonna eat it anyway.
Exactly.
The texture is kind of like off-putting at first.
It's not bad, like you said. The texture is just a little bizarre. I wouldn't say it's delicious or earth-shattering.
I think that's our consensus. It's fine, but we probably wouldn't choose to do it if it wasn't presented to us like this. But do it for the experience. What a unique way to eat cheese and hot chocolate. Finally time for some Colombian coffee, which I really need because I am fading quick from all this food.
Coffee right here in front of us. Any different kind of coffee. Now we're gonna see the whole process with the method.
So we have 2 options here. We can either go black coffee if you're hardcore, or if you're like me and you like milk, you can get cappuccino with all these fun patterns on it. Thomas got the elephant, and I'm getting the peacock.
So cool.
Gracias. Oh, perfecto. Okay, I'm gonna try my cappuccino. Oh my gosh, that is the silkiest, smoothest cup of coffee I've ever had. Yeah, the thing that strikes me first is not necessarily the flavor, but the texture is just so smooth. The flavor is actually pretty mild, but I like it because it's not very acidic. Oh, it just, wow. That's the best cappuccino I've ever had. Now I understand why Colombian coffee has so much talk. Back in the day, there wasn't much good Colombian coffee in Colombia because they exported all the good stuff and they kept all the things that had defects or that were missized. So the coffee here was actually pretty bad. But just in the last decade or so, they've really tried to keep some of the good stuff here in the country.
We're actually at a school for baristas, and he said there's a few different places like this just all around the city where baristas go to train, to learn the best process for this specific type of cappuccino with this specific type of bean. He said every single thing on their menu is made differently. They don't use the same process for anything.
So thank you again for picking us. We hope you enjoy the tour as much as I enjoy leading the tour.
Thank you, Rafa.
What a cool way to see the city. We've done walking tours before, but we've never done a food tour. And I feel like it just gave us a totally different side to the city.
And the culture and their foods. It was amazing.
Beyond Colombia was the company that we went with. They were awesome. Rafa was a great guide.
Rafa was the best.
And they have tours, I think, all over Colombia in the big cities. So if you're ever in Colombia, check them out.
Yeah, wherever you are, do a free walking tour, free food tour, whatever you can, because it's a great way to see the city and see the people. I think we're just a little cold, so we're gonna get home, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Bye.